Peace and blessings, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Transparent Credit Repair, the superheroes of the financial literacy and credit repair world. If you're looking to open your wallet to receive money instead of paying off debts, fixing your credit score would be a big help. To find out more, contact them at www.transparentcreditrepair.com and also call them at 862-250-5122. Tell them Heritage Hip Hop referred you and you'll get something very special in the transaction. On this episode of the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast, we go back overseas. We talk to an MC that's from France, but her origin is from Australia. She travels the world and entertains crowds at the same time. Today we're going to introduce you to Audie B, a person who's not shy when it comes to performing, but make sure that when she performs and she does her music, she gives positive messages in her music. Make sure you stay tuned, and I'll come back with the rest of my commentary after the interview.
Peace and blessings, everybody, and welcome to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. I am recording right now with not only a voice that comes from overseas, but a voice that shows power on the microphone. Please introduce yourself to the people.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. It's Audie B here from Australia, and thanks a lot for having you guys on today's interview. It's a blessing and an honor.
Oh, for us as well. Australia is very hot right now in many industries. What is it about Australia that makes Australia pop right now?
Australia is a mix of cultures, I guess, like the US, and also we've got different, sceneries to play with. And I think, a lot of inspiration that we get can come from many different places. We've got influences from beach, from, the different multicultural backgrounds, also from American influence, European influence, and it's really about Australians go through tough times, especially at the moment. Last year we had bushfires, then we've got floods. So we try to really make it work and make something out of that. And I think through art and the expression of art is really how we're all trying to, express ourselves right now. And so, yeah, a lot of artists from Australia coming out right now. So got to stay tuned.
Let me ask you this question, because and talking to another artist from Australia, Melbourne is what everybody knows. Everybody knows Melbourne.
Yeah.
But different parts of Australia have different sounds. Where are you located and what is your sound?
I'm from Sydney.
All right.
But I am in France at the moment, so I do have a lot of French rap, I guess, influences as well. Melbourne is this sort of city that's the European city. So then there's a lot of electro EDM coming out of Australia as well. But in Sydney, you do get a lot of hip hop. Western Sydney hip hop is quite big. So yeah, I get influence from that, but also now from a sort of French European side as well.
French hip hop is very well known in the States to people who really like culture. MC Solar is somebody who's a real mainstay when it comes to that. So going from Australia to France, how did that shock the system and also make you a better artist?
I do think that, it's such a good point, because when you actually listen to a lot of French rap, a lot of old school French rap, there is so much growth and political issues and introspection, and MC Solar, he's, I guess, not only a sense of a rapper as an artist, he's like a poet. Everything that goes into his writings is pure poetry. And looking at other artists from his time as well, but he was really, I don't know, the predecessor of all that in France. But looking at other artists there, I guess it's influenced me as well to, in my lyrics, be a little bit more in depth, not just talk about, superficial issues, and try to connect with people in a different way, you know, when I'm songwriting, and in a more in-depth way.
Seeing the world makes your lyrics better because you could give the narrative and then you could preach the narrative. What part of the world opened you up to make your musicianship more pronounced and not just be a person who does music?
I think that at the time where I really just saw the world, not as my oyster, but, you know, that I called the world my home, you know, the world, was when I worked on cruise ships. For 3 years, I was working on cruise ships, and, you know, landing in a different country every day, seeing different cultures, and just being able to, you know, take that in was just absolutely breathtaking. And that's when I thought, wow, you know, there is, number one, there's so much to learn. There's so much that I need to learn, and there's also so much that's available, and there are so many different people. And that's when I really thought my artistry, whether it be through dance, but now it's mainly, you know, through rap and through my music, is that I need to bring it out to the world and to all these different people and different cultures.
Now, you said working on cruise ships. First of all, salute to you, because that's a real job. Because some people think I'm going on a cruise, I'm gonna have a good time. No, you really work on those cruises. That's first.
Yeah.
So salute to you. Then,
Thank you.
Then to be able to rock a crowd on a moving vessel, to me, is very important, because you never know the temperature night to night of the crowd. Because some people come out one night, some people may not. And then, were you doing original songs, or you were doing other people's songs?
No, when I was working on cruise ships, I was working as a dancer. So every night we were dancing. Yeah, on the theater. Yeah.
You are the total package.
Thank you.
Yo, salute to you, because one thing about being an entertainer, and I'm going to go back to this cruise ship thing, there is never a time when you're not entertaining.
Yeah.
So you may not always be in character, but you're always on your job. How did the cruise ship prepare you for studio life to create songs?
Yeah, I think it's really, that's really interesting, because, as you said, being an entertainer, you're always disciplined, in the sense, I guess, working on cruise ships, as you said, it is a hard job. We're working 24/7. We don't have a break. And when it's studio time, when it's songwriting time, when, you know, you've got to work up until late, it also actually timed me on my body clock, you know, to be up until really late, because, you know, creating music for me mainly happens at nighttime. You know, I can wake up in the morning and songwrite, but yeah, it's about being disciplined also, and just being able to say, this is what I need to do now, and pushing yourself as a challenge also. Going, yeah, I'm doing the same thing. So I'm not doing the same music all the time, but I'm doing rap. So when I go into the studio, it's like, I need to better myself now. No, I need to go further with this. You know, I need to challenge myself more with this.
Oh, you know what? Let me ask you this question. Was the performance life first before studio life for you as a musician?
Yes.
Okay, great. See, I'm excited now. Watch this. Do you want to know what I love about you? Honestly?
Tell me.
I love the fact that you are so confident you become the song when you perform. See, it's not like I'm just doing the song. You are the song. So then you blend into that experience and you form an atmosphere of music and performance. That's what I love about you.
Yeah. Thank you.
How did the song benefit from your ability to be the song instead of you just making it?
The only way in which whatever I do comes to life is by feeding off other people's energy. That is the biggest thing. So whatever I'm doing, you know, whether it be even a call, you know, like this, is about feeding off other people's energy. If I'm on stage, same thing. I just literally feed off the audience's energy. That's what I need, and that's what I love. I love connecting with people. And so that's what brings a song, you know, really to life for me, and gives me that satisfaction to know that people have enjoyed it, that I'm connecting with them, that they're having a good time out of it. And then that's really what I think brings a song to life, you know?
Nah, only a little bit of that brings it to life. It's your spirit that brings it to life.
No,
See,
thanks.
see. I mean, I'm being honest with you, because when I see you performing your videos, you're performing, and you have that background already, so it makes it even more endearing. Because everybody knows artists for their beats and their rhymes, but a person who's really into the art looks at the color scheme. They look at the direction. They look at body language. And your body language is very strong in your videos. So what do you like the most about performing, and why, and how do you bring it to your video work?
How do I bring it to my video work? I think having my experience in dance, ever since I was a kid, I was doing ballet, I was doing dance, and being on stage, even when I was, dance teaching, and I would see my students come on stage, I would see the finished product. It's just that sort of ultimate satisfaction. And in the video, and in videos, it's about, yeah, it's like you're acting, you're not just sort of coming on there like, hey, it's fine, another day in the office. Yeah, it is another day in the office to be on stage, but there's always that, that adrenaline rush, and you need to take that just before going on stage, and then just, go for it, take it, and feed off it, and give it all you got. I think if you walk off stage and you still got some sort of energy happening, then I always say to myself, no, I've got to just walk off stage having literally exhausted all my energy, because I need to give it all my energy.
Yes. Everybody says that the energy the crowd gives them feeds them. You're like a battery.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, who fed your energy in the back in the game video? Because you was working your stuff in the video. Tell me about that video.
Thank you. Yeah, that video was shot with the team in the south of France, and and for that video, I guess number one, the environment that we were in. So it was with a label, JS Music, and they found the location, and I literally just walked in, and it was just, a little bit gloomy, a little bit sort of, and because of the song that I'd written it and the lyrics, everything just fitted so well. And when I was, spitting my lyrics in the music video, I literally, felt like I was being, on stage as well, and talking to people, and giving a message. And so having that dark environment, we literally had like one or two lights, I think, at one stage, just gave it that whole sense and feeling. And I guess as me being the artist, it was my first video clip, so gave it all I got, I guess. Yeah.
My favorite part of the video is when you take the money out the young lady's hand and throw it up in the air, and you give her this look, and she's staring at the camera. It's like even the character has to be checked by your presence. That's the one thing that makes all women, to me, who do music so beautiful, is that's when you have your confidence, and there's nobody in the world that could take their eyes off of you. What does that power feel like to you?
I think that power is an empowerment, that needs to be for all women, and not only for all women, but for all humans. For everyone who's doing music, and even if they're not doing music, it's about having that confidence to say, this is me, I accept who I am, and you know what, you can take your eyes off me, but you're not going to forget about me, or whatever. You've got to just leave that mark. Everyone has something special, I guess, that they can bring forward, put forward to the stage, and that's what really needs to be brought out. And so we all have our qualities and things that we like to hide, not qualities and defaults, but there are certain things where we sort of think, oh, I'd like to be better at this, and I'm not very good at that, and whatever, but you just push all those to the side, and then that's when you go, no, I'm here for this, I'm confident enough to do that, and then it shows. You know, you can't just sort of stand there and expect people to just give you that insight, or give you, you know, be looking at you and be giving you that stage presence that you deserve if you're not giving anything back. So you really need to project it in everything, you know, that you do. Even when you're walking down the street, you know, even I used to say to my dance students, doesn't mean you're in the back row, no one's going to see you. They're going to see not the person who has the best technique. They're going to see the one who gives it their all and who gives it with all their heart. So I think that's really important.
I think it is too, because you live your advice. And we're going to bring that out in something very interesting. What is hip hop style in France?
Oh, good question. What is hip hop style in France? I think hip hop style has evolved in France. So it was, as we were saying before, very much so like MC Solar and poetry. It really evolved from you know, groups like NTM as well, and IAM and Psychiatre de la Rime, and these are all artists who brought in, I guess, advice to younger generations. You know, who brought in political issues on the table, and who, did base themselves off a model that was the American model of hip hop, you know, with the dress code and obviously the music and things like that. But what I really loved about it, and why I really got into it and as well, and started listening to the words and getting inspired by it, was because it was a whole culture that became, for young people, I guess, not who were lost, but who were searching for answers. You know, so many people were searching for answers. A lot of people felt like they didn't belong. And then now, I guess it's evolved. It's not that anymore. You know, now French hip hop has some of that, but it's changed also into being a whole kind of mix. You know, French hip hop today has, mix of electro and rap, has mix of trap and rap. And really talks about many different issues, and you know, talks about parties, and you know, can talk about women, and you know, so that's evolved as well, to be able to tailor to everyone.
I love that you said that, because even as hip hop evolves, the style evolves. Even as hip hop evolves, people change, but the look of hip hop really doesn't change that much. The look that you had in the Scandalous video was very sexy, urban, modern, and 1980s at the same time. How did you come up with the style of that video, and what made you want to go that way with the direction of the song?
Yeah, I even with the lyrics in there, it was, you know, I had this sort of thing where even though I'm in France and in Australia, you know, I like using, when I songwrite, you know, like, call the bailiff. Well, there aren't any bailiffs in Australia or in France. But, you know, or when I say, you know, call 911, it was just really this thing where I imagined actually myself, you know, being in the USA, right? And being in this sort of old school hip hop game, you know, where everyone's, you know, trying to make it. And in that video, it was more about also showing myself, not more naturally, but me just sort of hanging there and just talking to people, you know, not doing big moves, not being, you know, on stage, not being with a lot of makeup. It was just sort of me. It was freezing cold in France. It was the winter time. So I had on, you know, a little skirt and my huge jacket, and just sort of rolled with it. It was freezing, but we just sort of rolled with it. It wasn't really something that was really pre-planned. It was just like, this would be a great environment to do it in. And the song, you know, we just finished sort of, you know, mastering it and everything, and I'd finished writing it, and I thought, just be great to just do it.
You know what I like about your music or your style is that you're very big. You don't tend to shy when you perform. Even with your wordplay, you like to go very big. And one video that showed me how big you are is Jealous. Tell me about your song Jealous.
Yeah.
As you see, I
Jealous.
like to listen to the music, so I really wanted to get into who you are.
You do. Thank
Yes.
you. Yeah. It's awesome. No, Jealous is really about a lot of like this duality that's, you know, going on for like, you know, a lot of us, you know, being not accepting ourselves, but like, you know, also even being jealous of ourselves or of certain sides we have, and being jealous of each other. So I guess I took on a sarcastic turn to it in my lyrics, right? But I guess in the music video, it portrays exactly, you know, what I want to say is that, you know, everyone gets jealous in these types of situations, and it's me in every single situation. You know, I'm duplicated onto every single different scenes. I'm the one being jealous and the one who I'm jealous of. And it's just about showing, you know, that we shouldn't be, you know, we should be happy with who we are and what we've got and what we're doing. So yeah, I guess in the wordplay with that, it is kind of subtle because, you know, I'll be talking about, you know, a guy at one stage, and then I'll be talking about, you know, being jealous of a girl, or, you know, it's kind of different. And then at the end, obviously, you know, I talk about myself and just saying, you know, I've got to get back up off my feet, you know, and that's my motto. And if that's your motto and you just get back on your feet, then you don't really need to worry about anyone. You just got to focus on yourself, you know?
Yeah. And the thing about it is, you are a lady. And that comes across first and foremost in your videos, you know, because you can have that tenacity, but it's very feminine, but it's very strong and endearing the same way. In one of your videos, you are at the opera house, you know, and you're stretching and you're dancing with somebody else, and you're really building somebody's confidence. So your music isn't only about I'm the baddest chick out here, but you're making music to uplift. What is the most important message someone gets from your music?
I think the most important message people get, and especially, with the last song, Never Stop, I think it really gives that clearly. It's about literally just good vibes, you know, never stop doing whatever you want to do, never stop dreaming big, never stop giving out positive vibes. I think, and especially now with COVID times, we all need to support each other. You know, so support your neighbor, support, you know, your friends, support other artists, and that's what really brings us all together and uplifts us. You know, and I do love showing and portraying that, and through all my songs is always what I try to bring and always what I try to say. You know, I don't want any negative vibes, you know, on my content or on my pages or whatever. It's literally about bringing together, bringing in the love. You know, everyone has qualities, everyone's got something to give, and everyone's got something to show to the world. And that's what I want people to take out and get that confidence, you know. So.
Well, we love you on Heritage Hip Hop. So
Thank you.
you've accomplished that goal. Thank you so much for making the music that you make and giving the positive message. And especially like you said, in the world today, we have a lot of civil unrest with hatred, racism, police brutality, inequality, and even a disease, whether you believe man-made or not, that's going around and affecting a lot of people. As an artist, how has COVID affected your artist life? And how are you pivoting to make sure you stay active and people know you're still releasing music?
Yeah, definitely. So I sort of had to rework my whole business model, where I basically said, where am I going with this? So when we all got quarantined, when it was lockdown, I was in France. Yeah, so I got locked down in France. And I said, where have I got to go with this? So like, who, what, when, where, why? Because I can't go anywhere. It's just me, my phone, my computer. You know, I had no access to the recording studio. So I was like, who do I need to bring my music to? How can I do it? You know, by when? Can't wait till next year. You know, it's got to be now. So what I looked at was redefining all that and saying, how can I get my music out there back home to Australia, also out to the US, and also out to the rest of the world from home. So it was just literally about getting my lives happening. So, you know, bringing my lives out at all different times as well, whether it be, you know, at different times of the world, doing concerts, doing live concerts, also releasing music that hadn't come out yet, that was ready, but that I released during COVID and now as well, still with Never Stop. And then also just connecting with people. So I connected via the internet, you know, and with people in the US, in New York, back home in Australia, with different artists, you know, sharing feedback, getting on interviews, and you know, getting on podcasts. And that's how I sort of got my work out there and kept my work up, you know, saying, I'm still here, I'm still doing things. But I think the most important of what I got out of it was an introspection, and doing my Storytime lives on YouTube is where I sort of engage with people live on YouTube for 20 minutes or so every 2 weeks and just talk about a specific topics. And that's where I feel, instead of just being behind the screen and doing a concert, you know, live, I'm just able to sit here on the phone, you know, like we're doing right now, and just chat with fans or with other people and engage with them in whatever questions they might have, whatever insecurities they're going through, whatever topics they want to talk about. And that's really the most important thing, is still engaging with people everywhere around the world and being able to show that we're all in this together. We're all in the same boat.
You are amazing. And the reason why I say that is because you're taking advantage of being a healer and not just an artist. And that you know that you have your music has a bigger responsibility. Instead of making people dance, you also make people think, and you also make people feel. So salute to you for that. My question though is, being an international artist, I know in America, because that's domestic for me, the biggest thing is to make it big here and then go overseas. Is that the same thing over there? Is to make it big in your country and then come over to America or go overseas?
Yeah, I think for me, it would be to make it big in the US and then come back home or come back overseas. Because that's where I really want to go with it. I think a lot of French people, if I stay in France, you know, like a lot of French people, it's not because I'm in France that's where I have the biggest following, you know. And if people don't understand also your lyrics, they're not going to engage as much with you. So I do have a lot of, you know, a percentage of people who follow me in France, and I have fans in France. But my ultimate goal would be to go to the US and then, you know, bring it back out to Australia, bring it back out to Europe, or whatever the case may be. Yeah.
But music doesn't have a territory. Music is universal and global. I mean, look at your song.
Well, that's what, you know, I always said. I actually spoke about this to someone the other day. I said, you know, if they called me in South Korea to say, you know, you've got a concert tomorrow in South Korea or, you know, in Tokyo, you know, come, obviously not with COVID. But you know, I'd say yes, for sure. I mean, that's really because I haven't, you know, I'm in France, and probably because, you know, I've been for a while in France now, and, you know, in Australia, you know, can't go back there for the time being, you know, with COVID. So I'm like, okay, next step, want to go to America. You know, I need to sort of be in different places. I have, you know, not the travel bug, but because I did work on cruise ships for like 3 years, it's like now I need to, you know, not go somewhere else, but I need to bring my music, you know, everywhere, you know, next steps here and there. Instead of just sort of staying in one place, and yeah, as you said, not just sticking to one country, you know, to deliver your music.
I mean, you made a song called Oi Professor.
Yes.
So that's like a cross genre for you, right? That's another language, and it endears you to another crowd. How important is it for you to make that type of music and not just stay at home?
That type of music, Oye Professor, is like, for me, Latino vibes is like just this sort of, it just adds something else into the rap. And for this sort of Money Heist series, I was like, you know, it was just basically a song that I was like, I just, want to write it, want to talk about it, what's going on. We didn't even know if it was like series 4, series 5, and it just fitted with, I guess, my not my alter ego, but I sort of see myself a little bit like, in some of the characters. So yeah, and having that Latino vibe, speaking in Spanish for me is absolutely so important. And to be speaking different other languages in my raps, to be able to bring it out, bring it forward, and yeah, keep on doing that. It's not just a one-off thing. I will be doing that later on as well, not just to captivate the audience of that, but to bring something else to my songs, and so people get that I can bring out that certain, not personality, but the persona or the characteristics in a song, bring those out and really try to bring them to life.
You know what makes me think about you in an artistic way instead of just a music way? Your beat selection. How do you pick the music, and then how do you pick what niche or genre you want to place your music in?
So I work in at the moment in France with a couple of beat makers, and they had previously worked with the label JS Music, and so that was who I've been working with. They have different, I guess, types of beat makers who we all got in contact with, and then who I regularly do songwrite to them, so I have so many songs I've written to that are unreleased, that every time I just get inspiration, I start writing down the lyrics, and we go into the studio and things like that. But the beats, I need diversity in my beats, and I think that they get that as well, because every beat maker that I have worked with on different songs really brings out also a different mood, a different persona, a different vibe, but then it all sort of still mixes with the way I rap onto it, and also really dictates the mood that I'm in. So if I'm in a really sort of like happy summer vibes mood, and one of the beat makers who I work with, we get a song in, get a beat in, and then I'm like, oh yes, I really feel this, then I'll get straight away get inspired. And if I'm in a sort of like down sort of mood, and we're listening to beats that they've sent in, or we're in the studio like creating something, then I'll be like, yeah, give me a little bit more of this, and when we're working together. And so it really just depends on the mood. But thank goodness, yeah, I have people who also know that I'm gonna, I guess, value and put forward their beat, not just use it, but actually value it and go, what can I do with this that's gonna make it the best possible. And I hope that through my songs I do make it the best possible and bring out the beat as well as much as I can.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking to Audie B, an Australian-born but French accomplished hip-hop artist that not only dances, but she articulates beauty in her music. Another question I want to ask you, I would love to see you in the studio, because I would like to know this. Does music talk to you, or do you express through creation with music?
It's, you know what, I would say it's a mixture of both, because the music talks to me straight away, because also, I don't know, it's like through dance. I used to put on a song, whatever song it was, and it would like also, it would feed my mood. So sometimes I could listen to a song and get really, sad, and just start, doing a really intense choreography to it. Same thing with rap nowadays. I'll like listen to a beat and be like, wow, and it brings out certain emotions in me that, I need to write down, I need to pen down, or other people's emotions or other people's experiences I can relate and put into that instrumental and put into that beat. But sometimes I guess it's like a symbiotic work. The music talks to you and you talk to it, and it just flows to work. So I guess I'd say be both.
Okay, so let's talk about your single Fast Lane. What did the beat tell you?
The beat for me just said, keep going. I literally, when I listen to a beat, I straight away, when I, put down lyrics and things like that, imagine the music video. And, I had imagined the music video, for Fast Lane, literally, just, being at 100 miles an hour, just hustle and grind, getting there, going forward, never stopping, just sort of, really these positive vibes, and just, basically just moving forward with whatever you want to do in life. And so I had visualized that music video, and that's how the beat really talked to me. And I said, yeah, I've got to do something like that, because I saw the music video in my head, and yeah, just thought, got to get in that fast lane. And yeah, the other two are in the slower lane and can't catch up. So had to pen that down.
When you were a little girl, you were very big-hearted and open, weren't you?
Yes, I like to think so, yeah.
I can tell, because you get excited whenever anybody talks about your creativity, so you get to blossom, you get to bloom yourself. A lot of people miss that, and they take on personas or characters that reflect themselves, Like me, I'm a comic book fan, all right? So I like Batman, but people would think I like Batman because he's a superhero, which I don't. I like the character and the story of Batman because every character reflects a psychosis. Every character is a personality trait. So your favorite basically is someone that goes to your personality trait. When I heard your Harley Quinn song, I was like, wow, okay, is this the woman's anthem? Or is she speaking to something that people aren't paying attention to? Why don't you tell me about the Harley Quinn song?
Yeah. Harley Quinn isn't really like my alter ego, but that's what, exactly as you say, I believe, and well, I can relate to her, and I believe some of my personality traits, I see myself in that, as this sort of, strong, driven woman who, if people understand her or don't, but she just keeps moving forward with whatever idea she's got, even though, people might be confused as to, what the hell's going on in her personality. She's just a strong, driven woman. And I wanted to take a twist to it completely and, sort of say, cry my name. But it's Harley Quinn. But, it's also like Audie B, and and every lyric that I put down, it was also trying to reflect on, my alter ego and the subconscious that's going on in my mind. I'm not obviously like her, but I think we've got personality traits, and I think she's a relatable kind of woman, for a lot of people. So yeah, Harley Quinn was my sort of little dash of pre-COVID, Birds of Prey release.
I think you and Harley Quinn are very similar. Let me tell you why. Harley Quinn's most defining trait is loyalty. And I believe you're a very loyal person. I take from you, I could be wrong, and if I am, teach me. But I take from you, you are a very loyal, loving person until somebody pisses you off, and then that's when you cut it off. People look at you like, why are you not doing the same thing that you used to do? They're like, because you killed that, and then they run back to you wondering what they did wrong, and they miss your loyalty. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's true. I am you got that one right. And it's true, I am a loyal person. I really am, and I never forget anybody who's walked into my life. We're even people working on cruise ships, so many crew members, hundreds of crew members, and I still remember, and I still, if anybody had an issue and called me, I try to be there for them, because it doesn't have to be, oh, you did something for me, I'll do something for you. It's like you were there for that part of my life, even if you dashed in for like 2 or 3 minutes, but that's created who I am today. And I can never be ever so thankful to everyone. So that's why I do cherish moments, and I'm very humbled to have been surrounded and met so many beautiful people. And yeah, I stick in there. It's like, peeps are like my family, and they really are. Through thick and thin, I go through it with whoever it be. So.
Well, we're great to have you. So everybody out there, Audie B is loyal to her sound, and she's loyal to you as the consumer and the person who's enjoying her music. Give them your social media so they know how to follow you and how to get your music, please.
Yes, thank you so much. It's so you can follow me on IG, on Instagram at Audie B Official. That's the same with Facebook and Twitter. And you can also check out my website, audieb.com, and especially stream my music on all platforms, Audie B, and my YouTube channel where I do my Storytime lives, where I can engage with anyone who wants to chat and my fans. And you guys can check out my music videos on Audie B on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna join your YouTube today, and I'm gonna join in one of your chats. We're gonna have a good time. I promise you.
Yeah, thank
and everybody
you.
out there, streaming is great. Go stream her music, but Heritage Hip Hop is not with streaming. We are against streaming. We ask you to please purchase her music. Spend the money. You could get $1 water when you're thirsty, but some of y'all get water, y'all don't even be thirsty. Take that dollar and buy a single. And if that single's great, check out more music and buy that. And if she has an album, whether it's $7 to $12, spend it. Because by doing that, not only are you ensuring yourself more music from a great artist, but you're giving support to her platform that makes her be able to do bigger and better things for you, the person who loves it where it is now. So if you want to hear better music, if you want to hear her grow, and you want to see her on stage in your hometown, in America or in France, or maybe Brazil or Cuba, please spend the money, because she's worth it. And great music means you spend the money. If the internet went down today and you didn't buy your music, you don't own it. So make sure you always have your music. That sound good to you, miss?
Yes, it does. And that's the thing. All the funds and, everything goes back into, redoing concerts, giving more content, giving more tracks. So it's all about giving back. So yeah, we do it for the fans. So if you guys are there supporting us all the way, then that's really humbling, and that's what we really want, especially in these times. And we need the support, and we keep supporting other artists as well. I know I'm supporting so many other artists at this point in time, and so the worldwide support and the worldwide love is there.
And we love you. So with that being said, we want to go into the rapid fire questions. Are you ready for that?
Oh gosh, okay, here we go.
Rapid fire questions are not yes, no questions. And it's not about who's sexy or who has the hottest song, because you're cute and you got the hottest song. So we're not going to put that out there like that. We're going to focus on the music, the art, and your love for it. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so question number 1. What album or song perfectly describes your life and is made by another artist?
Ooh, rapid fire. I would say Fugees.
Which song?
Fugees, the Mask and Score. Okay. And Mask. I love that song, and Score. Those ones I still know off by heart, and I used to sing when I was like 9 or 10. So yeah.
Nice. Okay, that's a great answer. Second question: what is your best instrument? Your heart, your voice, or your spirituality?
Between heart and spirituality.
Why do you say that?
Because the spirit and the heart work together to bring something that then you can project through your voice. So the voice comes second, and the heart and spirituality connect.
Audie B's a poet. Check you out. Dropping bars. I like it. Question number 2. The remix is a very important part of music where you would either change a beat or add people to a song to make a song have more shelf life or longevity.
Yeah.
New flavor to a original concept. Audie B, what is the greatest remix ever made?
The greatest remix. I actually had a laugh about this. I don't know if it's the greatest remix, technically speaking, but the Coffin Dance remix
Okay.
was hilarious because no one actually knew where that song came from, and I used to love that song because it came from Iggy Azalea,
Okay.
My World, and no one really, and I just thought that was not, obviously not technically because it turned into a meme, but no one knew where the remix came from. So I was like, wow, it's been remixed that well that, you know, it's changed into something completely different. But yeah, so recently I would say that one topped it for me.
Okay. My next question. Your song Reality speaks volumes. Tell me about the cover art with all the young ladies standing around and the message of the song.
The message of the song is really about the squad, you know, the squad being loyal, the squad, you know, always hanging in there, being together, and yeah, bringing all different types of walk of life together and showing that we can all. It's a bit of an ego trip, and you know, a bit of a, you know, here we are, ladies, and girl power sort of moment as well happening. And the ladies represent all different types of walk of life, right? In the song, but I guess the chorus is really for everyone because it's saying, you know, hit the streets, saw your shit. So just do it, do whatever you got to do, hustle, grind, and you know, put your middle finger to the sky, you know. So do what you want to do, yeah, and pursue your dreams.
Isn't it good to have someone who loves your music who could tell you about what you do?
Yeah.
Let's go to the next question. You know, have you ever done a song with somebody?
I have not done a song with somebody actually. I've worked on a couple of songs with an artist called MC Jabbar, and but we sort of worked on a song together, and I've spoken to, you know, other artists about, you know, doing you know, a featuring and things like that, but no, we haven't really finalized. I haven't worked on an actual song with other artists yet, so I'm looking forward to it actually.
I would like to introduce you to some artists. And the reason why I ask is because sometimes some people can do a song with someone and someone can steal the song from them. That's called the feature or the guest 16, where you have the main artist and the feature artist, where the feature artist just destroys the song. So my question is, what's the greatest feature artist ever or guest 16 of all time to you?
Of guest 16, what do you mean? Sorry.
Like a person who's a guest on the song and they like destroy the song so that the main artist looks like it's not even their song anymore.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a tough one. I mean, I'm trying to think of like, and
who guest starred on a song?
I'm trying to think of like, you know, I wanted to say like one that came into my mind was a duet, you know, between Eminem for Stan, but I'm like, no way, you know, Eminem never gets, you know, triumphed in his songs.
Okay.
Except for, I guess, one of them. I don't want to challenge this, but Eminem and Joyner Lucas.
Okay.
That duo, I love Eminem and I love Joyner Lucas, and those two put together, I think just, you know, fired it up.
Okay.
Both of them. I don't think he topped it quite there. You know, Eminem still stays the king for me, but yeah, it was pretty hardcore. It was up there.
If you could make your perfect song, who would you work with? Who does the beat and who's your guest feature? Dead or alive, no restrictions.
Oh, can I have multiple people?
Yeah, of course. It's your song.
Yeah. I'd love to make a beat with Helova.
Okay.
And I'd love to work with Erykah Badu.
Nice.
She's awesome. and Eminem. Yeah, put those three together in a
Whoa.
melting pot, and maybe Etta James. You know, bring in that sort of, yeah, some kind of mix with Etta James, Erykah Badu, and then that sort of Eminem and a beat by Helluva.
That's interesting. I would like to. Etta James, that's very soulful. Okay. What is, you know what? I'm going to change my question for you since you put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you this question. What song perfectly defines your spirit? The sad song about triumph or the happy song about victory?
Oh, I would say a sad song about triumph.
Why?
Just because it's the alter ego that is coming out in me, and I think more people when they listen to music go through hardships,
Mm-hmm.
and want to have a meaning. It's not just about happy celebrations. When people are looking for a meaning in something, it's about going through those tough times to then triumphing. So, but that's a really tough one because I'd love to say the other one as well.
Okay. We have two more questions on our interview with Audie B, sensational artist. That's international. You want to know what country she's from? Follow her and find out. It's worth it. All right. So my second to last question is this then. Music is spiritual. I believe hip hop is God's expression in people, you know? And I want to ask you this. Since music is spiritual and everyone can relate to a beat or a song somewhere, what do you think is the most important message that's not being told in music today?
That's not being told in music today.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most important message.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of in a lot of music today, people don't know not where they came from, not where we came from, but what the world came from. What music came from. So as well, I guess before hip hop, people used to know where it came from. People used to know its roots. People used to know the meaning behind it. I think now it'd be sort of nice to see, because of the beauty of music today that's blending in, you know, as we spoke about before, electro blending in with hip hop, blending in with you know, Arabic music. It's this multicultural melting pot in music, but we also need to know where it came from and the roots, and sort of still always stay humble. And I think that's sometimes missing in music, you know, to stay humble in what we do.
So why don't you do it?
I try to always tell everyone to, you know, and apply it to myself firstly, instead of telling it to everyone, because it's about applying it first to yourself, is
Right.
to stay humble. And I always stay humble with what I do, and in my freestyles and things like that. It's especially since COVID, it's about introspection, about, you know, knowing that we've all come from different walks of life. So yeah, I try to do it in what I do.
Okay. Salute to you.
And I will keep trying.
That's what's up. Everybody, once again, we're talking to Audie B, and we've come to the most important question of the first interview, which means you have an open door. Heritage Hip Hop is not phony. We're not into, we only get to talk to you when you're hot. If ever you release something and you like to come on the platform, you're a friend to the show, you're more than welcome to come back, okay?
Thank you.
So the most important question is, in 1,000 years, Audie B, you're not going to be walking on the planet Earth anymore. And given light to what's going on in this world, we don't wish for anything to befall you, your family, or your loved ones anytime soon. So may the Most High bless you and your loved ones eternally, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But 1,000 years from now, you're not going to be walking around on the planet. And somebody's going to go to a French museum, right? And they're going to go to the Hall of Entertainment. And they're going to see Le Soleil, right? The ship. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to have a Hall of Fame of the greatest performers. And somebody's going to push a red button and your song is going to come on. Your music is going to be introduced to generations later, and they're going to remember you for your impact. My most important question of this interview is, what is the legacy you left behind on the world that made the world better because you did music?
What is the legacy? That Audie B tried to, I guess I tried to bring everybody together, that the world, that we are all worldwide children, and that whatever you come from, whoever you are, you can be it. Whoever you want to be, you can be proud to, walk this earth being who you are and following your dreams and pursuing your dreams, never stopping, believing in yourself, and yeah, always giving to others and sharing with others, because we are sometimes selfish, in this world, and jealous. So, we need to stop getting jealous, stop being selfish, take a look at yourself in the mirror first, and improve yourself, and share positive, smile to your neighbor, smile to the people who you walk next to. We're losing a lot of that. So yeah, I hope through my music, people can just connect with that and be uplifted, and how I've been uplifted by so many other artists, who have influenced me. So yeah.
And with that being said, everybody, the world is a community. We need to come together and support our artists as they support us with good vibes, good music, and something to relax to while we chill and talk and just enjoy the life that the Most High gave us. This is Karev with Audie B, and we say peace, and we out.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Once again, celebrating artists from all over the world, Heritage Hip Hop brings you the best. And the point of this episode was not only to celebrate another artist, but just to show the global reach that hip hop has and how the culture influences people internationally and domestic. Audie B is from Australia, has traveled the world performing on a cruise ship, lives in France, and is doing Spanish, French, and English styled hip hop. You gotta give credit where credit is due. So supporting her and her movement is very big for us, because international connections and giving respect to people who love a culture that was born from people who were outcasted by American society is a beautiful thing. So let's always respect the culture of hip hop, protect it and honor it, and give it to our legacies as they come up after us. Salute to you, Audie B. This episode of the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast is brought to you by Transparent Credit Repair, the superheroes of the financial literacy and credit repair world. If you're looking to fix your credit, get out of debt, consider them and contact them at www.transparentcreditrepair.com, or you can call them at 862-250-5122. This podcast is brought to you by www.heritagehip-hop.com. And on August 29th, we have our award show. So join us on Heritage Hip Hop YouTube and heritagehip-hop.com. And you will see and experience our 4th annual award show, with awards being given out for people who not only love this culture, but who put their all into it. We will be celebrating our Govmatic Award, our Artist of the Year, and our Project of the Year awards, winners especially, and we invite you to come and join us August 29th on Heritage Hip Hop YouTube and also on heritagehip-hop.com. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody out there who supports us. You can follow us on all our social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, everywhere Heritage Hip Hop. Make sure you subscribe to us. Make sure on YouTube you hit the subscribe button, like, share, and comment on the videos. Let us know you're there and to show the world how much you appreciate what we're doing as well. I'd like to give a shout out to the team that makes all this possible. Shout out to Fatty's Place, our virtual assistant. You can check out Fatty's Place on Instagram. Fire Jaws, our resident MC, who does marketing, promotion, and placement. Shout out to him and Wildfire Marketing. Shout out to Lex Diamonds of Diamonds Entertainment LLC. That's DIEMENZ. And Big A. You can follow him on YouTube at ADYAR, which is AHDAYAR on YouTube. And you can see the Big A Show Season 1. And we have something new cooking as well with the Goodfellas TV. Make sure you stay tuned and watch that as well. It'll be dropping very soon. And Heritage Hip Hop is a network. We're not just one thing going on. We're a lot of things. So make sure you stay tuned and stay updated on everything that we do. Salute to everybody out there that's been following and listening. We thank you. We celebrate God's heritage. For if God is hip hop and we are his people, then we are hip hop as well. And we keep this culture alive to service not only ourselves with music, but the world with culture, and we build together as well. With that being said, everybody please stay safe out there. Be aware of your surroundings, because no, even though you're not looking, someone's always looking at you. So be your best at everything that you do. And with that, this is Karev saying peace, and we out.